Welcome to my studio. This video is going to show you how to mix up a 9-step value scale between white and black based in a middle mixture approach where each step is definitively not favoring either parent. I think you're going to love mixing up a palette with a palette knife because it's so much more effective than mixing with a brush. With a brush, you always feel like you're running out of paint. With a palette knife, you can mix up large chunks of reliable color, and it's really fun, friendly to use, and in the end, if you factor in the in-between steps in the 9-value scale, you end up with 17 colors that you can use, because in between the different colors, you have this color and this color mixed. You can just use your brush in between those two and have another step in between. So in just a few minutes, we're going to be mixing it up. I'm moving the camera in real close so you can see the angle of the palette knife, which is really important. Take a close look at that. Squeeze out a good amount of the two parent colors that I'm going to be working from, and then whenever I am, there we go, whenever I'm done with any touching of a paint and going to go to another kind of paint, I need to be able to wipe my palette knife off with a cloth or paper towel, and all right, this is what I do. I'm going to grab a bunch of the white, put that down, and less of the black, because one of the properties of paint is called tinting strength, and the strength of white versus black is the white's fairly weak. Now, I'm going to mix these two together. Notice I'm smushing it all down. I'm doing it kind of more on the front edge of my palette knife, and I'm going to scrape them up with this kind of angle on the palette knife. And then I'm going to push it back down, pick it up on just the tip of my knife, and push it back down. That's how I get this mixed up. And if I'm standing while I do this, even better. I'm going to scrape that up, and then I'm going to hold it over top where I can visually see it overlap the white, see it visually overlap the black. And what I'm looking for is the amount of resistance or border strength between the two. I want to say, how different is that middle mixture from black, and how different is it from white? It's quite different from the white. It's quite different from the black. Might be a little too light, if anything. I'm going to take a little bit more of the black, and I'm going to put that in there. I'm just taking a little bit like that. And wipe it off. Take a little bit more of the black. There we go. Scrape it up on the tip of the palette knife. Notice how fast I'm working. This part is not fast forward. This is actual speed. And then I'm going to hold it over the white. That's very different, very dark. That's pretty light. I might have overshot it just a little bit. I'm going to take some more white. Now, if I find myself in a situation where I just can't add enough white to it, and I'm getting too big of a glob, then what we'll do is just section off part of it, put section off to the side, save it for later, like maybe I'll want that color, and then use a smaller amount to go for the color I want. Now, I do want a lot of this middle mixture because it's what I'm going to use for deriving all my other steps. Oh, now, very different, very different. I'm going to squeeze out a little bit more white, because the white I have off to the side here that I haven't used yet did get muddied. Alright, so this is what I have. Oh, very dark compared to that. Very light compared to that. This is a good middle mixture. Okay. So I have that there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the middle mixture, a good bit there, put it on the side, wipe my palette knife off, grab some black, and I'm going to use even more black proportionally than before, because it's hard to get towards the poles or the ends of this. It's hard to get that middle mixture between these two. Now, any middle mixture is an even child of its two parents. We don't want it favoring either parent. So I'll put this over here. I'll show you. I didn't put nearly enough black in there. That looks a lot like that. It looks very different than that. So I'm going to put that down, put some more black in there. Now I don't have any black to compare it to, so I see it needs some more black out of the tube. And now I'll get some more in there. Want something that's visually halfway between. Very different from that. Oh, very different from that. There's a good middle mixture. Okay. So I got that there. And then I'm going to take this. And now, once again, it's very hard to go to the end. So I'm going to take a small amount of that. Wipe it off while I've got my rag here. And a good amount of that white. It's very hard to get that step up to the top. Because just a little bit of black really darkens that white. Do we have a middle mixture? Quite different from that. Very different from that. I might have gone too light by... That's very different. I'm just going to add a teeny bit of dark so as to not overshoot it. Maybe that much. And mix it back together. Then I'll compare it again. That's very different. Oh, very different. Very nice. Okay. So we got a step in there. I don't know if you can tell how different these are on the video camera, but they are sizable steps. So I'm going to mix some other steps in between here and other middle mixtures. Between each of these other steps. And it gets easier the smaller steps that I'm doing, I think. As long as I did my other big steps right, I should be able to get nice. Notably different steps. There we go. Sometimes little bits of other paint get caught in there if I'm not working on a clean palette, and that would stink and make it hard for a light to get light enough. How do I get a step lighter? Ooh, a lot more white. It's hard to work towards those ends. I think we're good there, except I've got some there we go. I just had a little bit of black in that. Oh, yuck. Put that up down. Squirt out some new clean white. And if anything is not looking like a nice even step or notably different from the others, then I better fix it. And you might think I have 9 different steps, and actually I have all the half steps in between here too, because if I need to dip my brush in 2 different ones at the same time, I can mix with the brush in between. But boy, working with a palette knife is great. And with a little practice and hard work, you'll be off and running. Happy painting.